Kyogre snipes down Palkia. However, if this Kyogre thinks it's going to have its wicked way with our Shadow Typhlosion, Typhlosion just might have a little something to say about that. Welcome back to the channel. We've got yet another incredible battle submission from one of our regulars in the Master League, Trainer31. He is out here once again flexing his 100% IV, level 51, Shadow Typhlosion, this time in the Open Master League. I have previously had the absolute pleasure of shoutcasting this thing in the Master League Premier Cup, where Gyarados was arguably the best pick. So Thunder Punch was definitely good, as it was double super effective into its water flying type in. However, in the Open Master League, Gyarados kind of an anti-meta or uncommon pick. Stuff like Rhyperior and Kyogre are far more common, and with that in mind, we have got that surprise Hail Mary Solar Beam. Trainer31 is running a standard ABB team with Palkia with his double resistance to water in the lead with double Incinerate in the back. We've actually got a purified Ho-Oh operating as the safe switch. I'm not going to comment other than without any further ado, let's get into the battle. And in game 1 we are off to a tough start. We see Zygarde in the lead. Zygarde able to bully Palkia due to its monstrous stat product. You can see her health is depleting far quicker than theirs. Trainer31 stays in, full sends a Spatial Rend, which unfortunately forces the first protection of the game. The opponent farm up to a potential outrage, and I cannot quite believe it. The opponent didn't throw a garbage bulldoze. Trainer31 looks to commit to the next Spatial Rend and is able to get there, which hopefully goes unshielded as our Incinerate users don't really fancy the work. The opponent 2-shield Optimus Prime, and we see the pivot into Ho-Oh. Zygarde might be bulky, but doesn't hit particularly hard. The opponent fire off yet another outrage, which doesn't even get us below half health. The opponent then enters the mirror. Trainer31 not messing around with any silly sacred fire baits, fires off the Brave Bird. Brave Bird rocks the opponent below half health. I'm anticipating Trainer31 saving the final Protect Shield for his Typhlosion, and that's exactly what he does. The opponent fire off the Sacred Fire, removing our Ho-Oh from the field of play. Typhlosion enters the arena. We farm up, make a savage catch, back onto Palkia. Okay, we're cooking. Brave Bird, of course, removed the 1 HP Palkia from the field of play. Out comes Rhyperior. Oh, baby, we are off to a big start. Solar Beam, double super effective. Get that Rhyperior off my screen. Back out comes Zygarde. Can we reach the Blast Burn? Oh, that's so heartbreaking. Unfortunately, we cannot, but we're definitely taking the moral victory in battle number 1. Heading into the next battle. We lead Palkia into Landorus. This matchup's greatly improved for Palkia after the Mudshot rework. The opponent used to be straight 5s to the Sandsear Storm, but it's now 6-6-5. The opponent fires off the Sandsear Storm, debuffing our attack, but undeterred, Palkia gonna farm up, look to return fire with the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail forces the first Protect Shield, and we're 2 for 2 on making savage catches, catching the next Sandsear Storm onto Ho-Oh where it is single resisted. The Ho-Oh safe switch does exactly what it's meant to do, bait out something Typhlosion doesn't want to see in the form of Kyogre. Unfortunately, we get a bit greedy, not firing off the Brave Bird before the Surf's reach. Trainer31 not wanting to go down with all this energy, invests a Protect Shield, then fires off the Brave Bird. Can we survive 2 waterfalls and reach the next one? Unfortunately, we cannot. No DRE for us. Palkia enters the arena, fires off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is resisted, but will be removing Kyogre from the field of play. The opponent sends out Togekiss, quick switch into Typhlosion. Typhlosion will be looking for that 1 shield. Full Incinerate farm down. Typhlosion might be sub 3300 CP and debuff, but it's certainly smelling blood in the water. Back out comes Togekiss. We go for the correct 1 Incinerate and the Blast Burn. The first one lands. Typhlosion already at the next one, and the opponent's forced to burn that final Protect Shield. I believe they look for the full tap, charm down, farm down, or even make another one. The opponent gets scared, opt to throw energy. Ancient Power, Aerial Ace, whatever they throw will be removing us from the field of play, but Palkia has enough HP remaining to withstand the charm damage, reach the Aqua Tail, and we will be emerging victorious. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, this time we catch the bulky Blue Whale in the lead position, exactly where we want to see it. The opponent safe switch into Duskmane, and here comes Ho-Oh. Oof, the opponent throws at really poor timing. We're very appreciative of the free Incinerate. The opponent fire off the Sunsteel Strike, which is resisted, but certainly does not look like it. Necrozma's bulk bails this opponent out. Despite them throwing on alignment, they're able to reach the departing Dark Pulse, forcing the first protection of the game. Ho-Oh does exit at 100 energy, but I think we're in the same situation as last time. We're only going to reach 1 Brave Bird, as we're not going to be able to withstand the waterfall damage. Unfortunately, once again, we do die with energy. We send back out Palkia. The opponent pivots into Zacian, and here comes Typhlosion. Tough decision to make. If the opponent goes straight close combat or potentially wild charge, we are in trouble. The opponent go for the play rough bait, and you know what? That bait might just seal this opponent's fate. Typhlosion looking menacing, absolutely popping off, forces the first Protect Shield with the first Blast Burn. We're already at the second one, and just like that, the opponent's gone from a 2-to-1 shield advantage to shield disadvantage. Typhlosion putting in work. It's Palkia with a Protect Shield, looking to clean up like a savage. Trainer 31 with balls of steel, calls the bait, back out comes Kyogre. Trainer 31 farms up to the double Aqua Tail. One will be moving the bulky blue whale from the field of play, and the second will be moving Zacian from the field of play as well. And Trainer 31 pulls off a very, very well played dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Of course, in today's line of 3, Palkia and Ho-Oh are both top meta threats. But I think it's fair to say, at least to this point in the video, Typhlosion is more than carrying its weight. In the next battle, we see a dreadful lead. We see the pivot into Ho-Oh, and out comes Gyarados. Trainer 31 makes a very smart play, not debuffing his defense, making this Aqua Tail more threatening. Instead, he continues to farm up, knowing he withstands the damage, and he's going to unleash the back-to-back Brave Bird. The first one forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Brave Bird does around 80%. If this goes unshielded, it might actually move them from the field of play. My. Ho-Oh able to win the 0-1 shield against the water type like an absolute monster. Alignment turns out to be absolutely everything in this battle, as we can align Palkia into this Rhyperia, and my god, do we have a nasty surprise for that fairy. Florges re-enters the arena and is greeted with Typhlosion. Trainer, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a Shadow Typhlosion in the Open Master League. Trainer 31 still with 2 Protect Shields to hide behind. Still unwilling to shield Typhlosion. Typhlosion gets rocked deep into the red. We farm up to 100 energy. Look to fire off the Blast Burn. Hello game. What the hell is going on here? No, that is absolute bollocks. What the fuck was that? Without a doubt, this is going to be yet another video demonetized by YouTube, but frankly I don't care, as that was an absolute joke. We was in a prime position to win that battle, but somehow we lagged out and end up on the losing end. Oh man, this game's frustrating at times. In the next battle, we see Groudon in the lead. The opponent opting to stay in, with an attempt to make a catch onto Melmetal. Melmetal quite problematic, despite them being a steel type. They are going to have access, or at least I assume, to Rock Slide. They could run double Iron Bash and Superpower in fairness, which would mean Ho-Oh would completely wall them, but it's kind of risky to call that as the moveset. Melmetal can be a bit of a bag of tricks. I've even seen some people run Thunderbolt. I believe he's even got access to Flash Cannon, but that's probably not the moveset you're looking for. If you want some steel coverage, you're probably going to go for Legacy Double Iron Bash. It's not anywhere near as expensive. We send out Ho-Oh looking for the snipe, and out comes Rayquaza. This team's kind of wild from the opponent. This is literally like a team you would have seen about season 13 or something. Those were the days, of course, when Breaking Swipe had 100% chance to debuff the opponent's attack. Of course, Steelix ruined it for all the glass cannons. Stuff like Sceptile and Heliolisk also not appreciative of it now being a coin flip rather than a 100% drop. Ho-Oh manages to force both Protect Shields. I saw King post the other day on Twitter saying it should be Ho-Oh as in Merry Christmas Ho-Oh rather than Ho-Oh, and I'll be honest, I'm very guilty of saying that as well. As I'm getting distracted on my mad tangent, Trainer 31 out here making catches left, right and centre. Typhlosion with a 2-to-0 shield advantage, of course, going to be shielding this up. The opponent go for the Fire Punch bait. Typhlosion look to fire off the Solar Beam, but unfortunately we're outpaced. I think we can just go Blast Burn at this point. We've probably incinerated him into a range where a Blast Burn is probably lethal. We do fire off the Blast Burn. Blast Burn does remove Groudon from the field of play. Melmetal comes in, gets farmed down. We leave with the Blast Burn. And I can't quite believe it, but this is Open Master League and Typhlosion is going to sweep the back line. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see Palkia into another Groudon. I'll be honest, I thought this Pokemon was a myth, but we've seen it in back-to-back games. The opponent stays in. Trainer 31 going to take the initiative, go straight for the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail forced the protection, then go for the Precipice Blades catch. Unfortunately, the catch attempt's unsuccessful. We do bait out Kyogre. We see a very nice adjustment from Trainer 31 this time, throwing the Brave Bird before the opponent gets off the Surf, which enables us to get off some big damage. The opponent does get the full Waterfall farm down. They only leave with a Thunder. This isn't enough for a Blizzard, so even if they got Thunder, it won't be too threatening. Thunder does around half our health, but Palkia able to get a very nice farm down, leave with residual energy. Out comes Togekiss. Trainer 31 tries to bank the Aqua Tail, but unfortunately switch timer simply isn't up. We've now got Shadow Typhlosion versus the Wild. The opponent gives us the free Incinerate. Come on, Typhlosion. The The opponent fire off the Ancient Power, we then farm up, fire off the Blast Burn. The opponent catches on Groudon, but we needed to get rid of this thing anyway. Blast Burn forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. It looks like we've CMP'd to this move, so as long as this Blast Burn knocks out, I think we are off to the races. The opponent went for the Fire Punch bait. Blast Burn isn't quite enough. Oh man. This should only be a Fire Punch, but the question is, can we survive the charm damage to reach the next Blast Burn? Typhlosion! Ah! Heartbreakingly gets resisted. Charm farm down. And we take a heartbreaking loss. You can see Typhlosion's lack of stat product there. In the next battle, we see Landorus in the lead. As always, the opponent going to go straight for the Santia Storm, forcing a debuff on our attack. Trainer 31 tanks the Santia Storm, farms up, fires off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail lightly forces a Protect Shield, even though we're debuffed, and I anticipate us trying to catch a Santia Storm onto Ho-Oh. We do exactly that, a very, very nice play. I think it's more than fair to say Trainer 31's skill set is well above the ELO range he's currently playing in. Trainer 31 going to go for the one shield, full Incinerate farm down. The opponent falls on the Stone Edge. Of course, that would have been double super effect. Then send out Dialga. But Dialga not going to appreciate all this energy. Sacred Fire goes unshielded. Trainer 31 going to be able to outpace to the next Sacred Fire. Where does the opponent burn that final Protect Shield? They burn it here. We then go for the quick switch into Palkia. Oh my god, again we're lagging. What is going on? I think the reason Trainer 31 is probably stuck in this ELO range is because he gets so much lag all the time. Although we're going to try and not focus on that. We send out Ho-Oh, force the opponent to send the Aurora Time, which they do, and send out Typhlosion from one Incinerate running start. Out comes Zacian, so this game looks good. The opponent try and make a catch. The catch attempt unsuccessful. Typhlosion now doubled up. The first Blast Burn won't quite be lethal. We've got the second locked and loaded, and despite once again lagging, Trainer 31 will be emerging victorious. GG's. Looks like Trainer 31 able to keep that tilt at bay. I'll be honest, when I start lagging or get game glitches, I definitely start tilting and making horrendous plays. But Trainer 31 able to overcome that. In the next battle, we see Melmetal in the lead. The opponent safe switch into Zacian, and we send out Ho-Oh. If they're going to safe switch Zacian, they're almost certainly on Wild Charge, but one is survivable. The opponent fire off the Wild Charge, which does big damage. The opponent already at the next one, and we are going to see the first Protect Shield deployed. This is now quite an awkward spot, as even with a quad debuff defense, we're not going to be able to farm down before the next Wild Charge is reached. We opt to throw the Sacred Fire, forcing the Protect Shield. And a weird turn of events, we're going to be forced to double shield just to win this mid-game matchup. We do exactly that, but leave with the Sacred Fire, which means Melmetal cannot return, or at least so you'd think. Back out comes the Tin Can, we fire off the Sacred Fire, which of course forces that final protection. The opponent is going to commit to the Thundershock farm down. It makes sense now, the opponent's running double Fairy. We retreat into Typhlosion. The opponent actually allows us to get off the Blast Burn, and this is huge for us. Blast Burn rocks the opponent deep into the red. I imagine close combat one-shots. It actually doesn't. We're able to survive the close combat, which will force Melmetal's hand. Melmetal gonna fire off the double Iron Bash. What is that second move? Surely you can't run Melmetal without superpower, and if that's the case, the opponent's going to be forced to go for double Iron Bash again, as I don't want to debuff their attack, although I'm completely wrong. Double Iron Bash Thunderbolt. That is certainly a choice. I'll be honest, I'm certainly not a Master League player, but I imagine Rock Slide and Superpower is still the preferred moveset. The opponent fire off back-to-back Thunderbolts. Palkia withstands the damage, reaches the spatial end, which is resisted, but does more damage, and we're able to take a very close game. GG's. In the next battle, we see Xerneas in the lead. We safe switch into Ho-Oh, baiting once again the bulky blue whale onto the field of play. Trainer 31 again is going to allow the opponent to throw first, although we are healthier this time, so we should reach the double Brave Bird. We are at 100 energy. We fire off the first Brave Bird, which goes unshielded. We're able to survive 2 waterfalls and reach the next Brave Bird. Come on, Train, you don't need switch, just let it go. Ho-Oh able to take back switch, and out comes the opponent's own Ho-Oh. Of course, we're going to send out Palkia here. When the opponent pivots, we are going to greet him with Typhlosion. The opponent going for the obvious Brave Bird. One Brave Bird is survivable. We call the Simor swap, and Typhlosion hits the field of play. We've already seen that we actually do survive a close combat. So even if the opponent full center here, which they don't, we don't need to shield. However, as they bait, we might be back in this game. We fire off the Blast Burn goes unshielded. We do Incinerate farm down, but this 2 shielded Ho-Oh is going to be a problem. Hopefully the opponent's shield are fearful of a Thunder Punch. Oh man, the opponent didn't shield. We're going to get fully incinerated farm down, and with 2 shields, I think this game will end in defeat. Even if we correctly shield up whatever they throw, 5 Dragon Breath simply won't knock them out. The opponent would reach back-to-back Brave Birds. Trainer 31 recognises that isn't a winnable game, and we're going to tank the move like a boss. In the next battle, we see Kyogre in the lead with the OG Tin Can in the safe switch position. Most people are opting for the origin form of this Tin Can nowadays, as it is better. If you've got one of these maxed out at level 50 or level 51, as much as it pains me to say, it's still quite good. We fire off the Sacred Fire, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. Ho-Oh simply will not be denied, even reaches to depart in Brave Bird. The opponent, desperate to realign, invests both Protect Shields in the mid-game. Typhlosion enters the arena. I'd love to see us just shield. Fully Incinerate farm down, and when Kyogre returns, boom them to their face. We actually bank some energy, snipe with Palkia. But the unfortunate thing is, if you're going to run Kyogre in the lead, you're going to have 2 very good answers for dragons. Out comes Togekiss. We are going to reach back-to-back Aqua Tails, but unfortunately 2 won't be lethal, and we're never ever going to be able to double resisted Dragon Breath farm down either. The opponent snipes with Kyogre, looking to get a running start, but if this Kyogre thinks it's going to have his wicked way, with Shadow Typhlosion, Typhlosion might have a little something to say about that. Solar Beam picks up that one shot. Can we Incinerate? Farm down Togekiss. Oh, that is such a heartbreaking defeat. We land a huge beam, but unfortunately we will not be emerging victorious. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see a commanding lead, but a problematic safe switch. We've already seen that Melmetals can have a wide variety of charge moves. We tank one on Palkia and then make the pivot into Ho-Oh. While Thundershock might have been buffed, Rockslide has been nerfed and now pretty garbage moves. We're able to survive 1. Ho-Oh farms up, looks to remove them from the field of play with the Sacred Fire. Sacred Fire goes unshielded. The opponent doesn't even make a play at switch line. Back out comes Kyogre. Kyogre looks for the waterfall farm down, but Ho-Oh says no, reaches the Brave Bird, and Brave Bird rocks him deep into the red. We attempt to snipe the remaining HP with Palkia. Switch time is slightly misaligned. The opponent saves Kyogre and make the pivot into Togekiss. Togekiss instantly greeted with the Blast Burn. The opponent throws a god-awful timing, so ideally using a 3-turn move into a 5-turn move. You should throw 3, that'd be 9 turns versus 10, or you can throw 1, which is 3 turns versus 5, but don't do what this opponent did and just throw instantly. You never want to give an Incinerate user a free Incinerate. The opponent makes amends for that alignment throw, making a catch onto Kyogre, but we're doubled up on Aqua Tails. So I'm currently in this elo range as well. After using a Selgor and various other nonsense, I've found myself well and truly in the trenches. And the issue with this elo range is people have some aspects of the game nailed on, like this opponent could clearly count, or at least knew when Typhlosion was receiving the energy for the next Blast Burn. They don't quite have an all-rounded game. Climbing out the trenches is actually a lot harder. I find climbing elo easier the higher you are, because people kind of play predictable. You can anticipate everyone throwing at good timing, everyone having good understanding of energy management, etc. But at lower elo, it's just so bloody random. Even to the point where you see Pokemon running like random quick moves that aren't recommended and they can catch you off guard. Next week, we do have all 3 leagues returning. So potentially, if you guys want to see it, I could try and climb 800 elo in a single week in either the Great or Ultra League. I personally don't care about my elo, but while it's low, I won't be posting my own battles. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, post it down below and we'll look to make a push. Unfortunately, this battle is going to be RPS for a loss, and we are going to concede the match. In the next battle, we see another Purified Ho-Oh. Of course, this thing did have a raid day recently. So a nice easy way of people getting a hundo and slightly cheaper to power up. Whilst I think Xerneas is better overall as a quick energy generating fairy, I think if you want to safe switch one of these fairies, I think Zacian is definitely the way to go, because Wild Charge can hit back against your hard counters such as Ho-Oh. The opponent enters the mirror. Trainer 31 not messing around, fires off the Brave Bird. Brave Bird forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Trainer 31 farms up, looks to make the catch onto Palkia. Oh, they went for the bait as well. That is such a nasty catch. Trainer 31 still with 2 Protect Shields, 2 high behind, more than happy to shield the Brave Bird and say, Trainer, show me your third. Out comes Dialga. I think this is a terrible bait. We're only reaching 1 move, and I think the opponent's probably going to call it, as they know we'll reach a Sacred Fire. The opponent shields the Aqua Tail, but definitely do not bait in that situation. Ho-Oh re-enters the arena. We're going to invest the Protect Shield, bank our energy, and make the pivot into Typhlosion. Typhlosion looks to reach the Blast Burn. Oh boy, yet more lag. Honestly, Trainer 31, how the heck do you play this game with this crappy game state? I would lose my mind. The opponent fire off the Iron Head, then make a very nice catch of the Blast Burn, back onto Ho-Oh. Trainer 31 farms up to 100 energy before unleashing the Brave Bird. Brave Bird will be secure in the knockout. Can we survive the Dragon Breath to reach one more Brave Bird? Unfortunately, we cannot. We get Dragon Breath farmed down and take another very frustrating loss. In the next battle, we see Tapu Bulu in the lead. Dreadful for Palkia, but very nice for our two fire types in the back. We say switch into Ho-Oh, and out comes Rhyperior. Unfortunately, Ho-Oh not running Solar Beam, so doesn't have the potential to one-shot, but the opponent's shields are fearful of the beam, which is at least something. We do obtain ourselves a shield advantage in the mid-game. The opponent full send the Rock Wrecker, easily picking up the one-shot. Back out comes Palkia, looking to operate as the damage sponge. Despite Breaking Swipe being super effective in this matchup, Rock Wrecker does more damage and is better DP overall. We fire off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail picks up the one shot. We pivot into Typhlosion. The opponent interestingly stay in, looking to debuff our defense. The opponent fires off the Nature's Madness. We withstand the damage and out comes Palkia. We're going to full send the beam. The question is, does a beam one shot in Master League? No, it doesn't, but that's still impressive damage. We send out Palkia. The opponent going to go straight for the Aqua Tail, which is double resisted. Palkia going to commit to the full Dragon Breath farm down. Can the opponent Bullet Seed farm us down? Oh boy, this is going to get close. Trainer 31 fires off the first Aqua Tail, which of course will be forcing the final Protect Shield. Can the opponent get that farm down? Palkia holds strong, able to be a Tapu Bulu counter confirmed, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle. We see a battle of dragons with Palkia into a purified Dragonite. There are so many purified Pokemon today on my screen, it's making me feel upset. Dragonite does have the pacing advantage to the super effective charge move, but the bulk is with Palkia. Palkia will be able to go for the one shield, full Dragon Breath farm down unless the opponent pivot. They do concede that full farm down, and out comes Togekiss. I believe that's Togekiss, some kind of charm I didn't actually see. I'm quite surprised to see us go for a chip and dip. I would have preferred to bank all that energy on a holy spice. Why is a Chandelure on my screen? That is some spice. This thing has a very high attack, but cannot tank a hit to save its life. We go for the Sacred Fire bait, although I'm not even going to call it a bait, as I'm almost certain it'll probably knock Chandelure out. Look at this Incinerate damage. It is disgusting. The opponent once again throw on CMP, but they go for a very silly Flame Charge bait. Flame Charge doesn't get the job done. We reach the Brave Bird. Brave Bird picks up the one shot. Out comes Typhlosion. This game's signed, sealed and delivered. All we've got to do is farm up to the double Blast Burn, even if the opponent boost. It simply will not save them. We do farm up to the double, you know the drill. One to force the shield and one to remove this very annoying cloud from the field of play. The opponent recognises the game's over, tank the damage, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle, we see Mewtwo in the lead. I miss the days when Mewtwo was meta relevant. The Yveltal's kind of got this thing running scared. We farm up, make the catch, and sneak the Incinerate in the process. I can't actually believe we're like 13 battles into today's 3-set Shoutcast. We haven't actually seen a single Yveltal whatsoever. As always, I've got distracted. The opponent enters the mirror. We go for the Sacred Fire bait. The opponent tanks the damage. They then farm up, able to win the charge attack priority. Trainer 31 last second investor Protect Shield, looking to force one in return. Well, as I got a Mewtwo user, I imagine they might try and Psycho Cut farm us down. Do 7 Psycho Cuts knock us out? It's going to be close. To be honest, you can actually go for 8 there, as the 8th Psycho Cut will register as we're receiving energy for the Brave Bird. I think the opponent could have farmed down, or at least I would have went for it. Failing that, they should have thrown 1 extra just to maximise farm. The more I think about it, the attempted farm down, and if they actually reach a charge move, investing a Protect Shield probably would have been the best play, as Mewtwo doesn't really apply any fast move pressure whatsoever. It's all about charge move pressure. So if you are going to use Mewtwo and you find yourself in an opportunity where you can shield and farm down, you should certainly go for it. Typhlosion's bulk once again about to be put to the test. We're able to withstand the damage. We've now got the double Blast Burn banked. The first one will be forcing the opponent final Protect Shield, and the second from this range should be removing them from the field of play. Typhlosion claiming yet another victim, and we take that game. Heading into the final battle of today's Shoutcast, we see the basic bitch tin can in the lead. We pivot into Ho-Oh. What else are we going to bait out other than Kyogre? We've seen so many Kyogres in the back today, it's been ridiculous. Once again, we see Trainer 31 allowing the opponent to throw first. We have took a few Dragon Breaths, So can we actually survive 2 further waterfalls to reach the double Brave Bird? I really hope so. If not, this is going to be brutal. Oh man. We go down a Protect Shield and still lose Switch. We send back out Palkia. Dialga enters the arena. This is just an Iron Head. Iron Head is resisted. I thought we were going to look to catch on Typhlosion. I could see the finger creeping. We don't go for the catch, and now we're going for a very risky bait, in my humble opinion. Aqua Tail thankfully does force the protection. We see the pivot into Typhlosion. The opponent throws on alignment. Okay. Come on, Typhlosion. Can you end the video in style? The opponent goes for Iron Head bait. Out comes Zacian. Okay, we've got a chance here. Blast Burn, of course, will be forcing the opponent's final protection. We throw one further Incinerate, maximise our farm, unleash the next Blast Burn. Blast Burn rocks the opponent deep into the red. Can we Dragon Breath farm him down or reach double Aqua Tail? Okay, the opponent's debuffed their own defense. Palkia doesn't want to risk a farm down, throws the Aqua Tail. I think we're just going to get Dragon Breath farm down before we can Dragon Breath farm them down. Despite us having more HP, they're hitting for super effective, we're hitting for neutral, and we are going to end today's video with a heartbreaking defeat. GG's to that opponent. And that is just about going to wrap things up for today's Shoutcast. Trainer 31, that was a lot of fun, although somewhat frustrating with all the lag you had, but I am so jealous of that 100% IV, fully maxed out Shadow Typhlosion. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. My battle submission form is linked down below, and as always, a huge thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.